in this post right here is that as president, he can dissolve the parliament. That he could dissolve the parliament. That is a gangster way to go ahead and announce your candidacy. I'm in, dude. I am in for Conor's presidency, and I'll help any way that I can. I didn't think it even made sense. I started telling people like, dude, I don't know why, but they're way cheaper on StubHub. And I know you're looking at this and you're like, I don't get it. This says $3,300. They're not cheaper. Oh, yes, they are, dude. Yes, they are. I intentionally did this because look at what the actual ticket prices are now in the sections at hand, where when we started, it was $3,000. All right, Jesse on fire. 3 huge stories in this video, okay? So we're going to talk about the Sphere show that, oh my God, okay? I saw that MMA Joey did a video about that the show's imploding or whatever, it's falling apart. Okay, I didn't give a lot of credence to it because I'm like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But I have evidence to show you guys right now that was like, oh my God. Oh, do I make my eyes go this big and then make a claim like this if I don't have the goods? Because I'm going to show you something that is shocking. And we're not just talking about the number of tickets that are remaining. We're talking like this is heavy, man. And I'm going to show it to you in a second. But first, I want to talk to you guys about Conor McGregor making a pretty important announcement when it comes to him potentially fighting Michael Chandler, since he has officially declared his candidacy for the president of Ireland. Oh my God. Okay. So that's happening. And then we also have a potential replacement for Michael Chandler in December. And it's a big star just volunteered himself to fight Chandler instead of Conor McGregor. So we'll see how that goes. Now, I have insider info that the info I have, which again, last time I told you this, that I had news from Chandler and ended up not being right, or at least we don't know. But Chandler told me that he has something locked in. Okay. He wouldn't tell me what it was. He said, he's being a professional. I'm not going to break his balls about it. But, as far as I know, Chandler has a big announcement that's already locked in. But nonetheless, we got someone volunteering to fight him, and we're going to look at that. But first, we're going to look at Conor McGregor. Before that, though, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, and tell your friends. That would be amazing, Ever since I started covering this gentleman over here, my content, for some reason, when you look at who's being shown your content, not a lot of reach for your boy. It's almost like they don't want people seeing content about that guy. I would never accuse I would never bite the hand that is my business daddy, but it would be very helpful if you do follow my content and have not subscribed, if you would go ahead and do that and like this video and then comment whatever you want, dude. All right, so let's jump into this thing. Okay, so I wanted to start here just this is actually important in my opinion, because what is what's a president? Why do people vote for any given candidate, right? It's because they like them, right? They give them a good feeling. And so if you listen to what Conor says right here, and then you apply this to what I would assume is what he'll be like when he goes and is standing on a podium and telling you why you should vote for him in, the Irish presidential election, I think this is probably how it'll make you feel.
You can always do something. If your ankle is sore, well, is your arm sore? What's the problem? Do what you can. People use things as an excuse, you know what I mean? Okay, something's off, so I can just chill on everything now. But it's important not to do that. You've got to focus on what you can do, not what you cannot do, because that will consume you. If you focus on what you can do, sooner or later, you're going to be able to do absolutely everything. There's always something you can do.
I love that, dude. I love that. And guess what? What he just said right there is why he is running for the president of Ireland, because he believes he can do anything. And thus far, he has proven that. I will also tell you that this dude over here, the guy with the sneakers who's running for president, that is the best trait that he has, okay? Is he loves to collectivize the people. And I've said this a million times, and I'm going to continue to say it. Once you have been in a building where he walks in, especially UFC, because it's not that people are not there to go see him. Okay. It's one thing when you're at a rally with him, at the head, like that's the reason everyone's there. Everybody's going to go crazy. But when you're at an event that is absolutely not about him and he walks in and you feel this collective screaming energy, it is intoxicating on a level to where I'm telling you, I don't care how much people hate him. I mean this really. I don't care how much people hate him. When they are in that building and they feel that energy, anyone who actually understands what a country is going to change their mind, at least a little bit. They might not vote for the guy, but they're going to go, okay, I do understand. Like, I understand. Okay, I understand. If you get the whole group marching in the same direction, passionately, inspired, then good things happen, dude. And if you think anyone is going to be able to inspire Ireland better than this guy, you are out of your mind. He is for sure going to be an absolutely incredible candidate. And I hope that he wins. Straight up, dude. I really genuinely hope he wins. But anyway, let's, obviously it's going to come at the expense of his fighting career, would be my very educated hypothesis. But he also did this. I actually don't even know what this one is, but I promise we're going to get to his candidacy in 1 second. I've seen nicer bus stops. Who charges? Okay, so this is like a bike, I guess, that cost 335,000 pounds or euros.
Cost becomes somewhat easier to understand how what was once priced at 450 million in a children's hospital is 2.5 billion and counting. But nothing will happen. Systemic failure will be blamed, and the next children's hospital or bike owning fiasco.
Oh my God. They are saying that just the place where you put the bikes cost that much. Wow, dude. Wow. This is the thing. Oh my God. I am so glad I did this topic, man. This is the thing, dude. This is why people who are like, don't you hear what the government's saying? They want to solve this problem, man. Don't you want to support the people that, blah, blah, blah. And you're all, okay, listen. Just because you're voting for a measure that says it is going to solve said problem does not mean that that's what you're actually voting for. You might not realize it, but the government is incredibly inefficient, dude. And there are a lot of people all along the way that are siphoning money off of every single thing that you do. And so their actual incentive in many situations is to create these measures so they can rob them blind. That right there cost $335 million for a thing that people can store their bikes at. How much money do you think of that actually got spent on that versus people who ever involved robbing it fucking blind, dude? Man, I didn't even realize that's what that was. I thought it was a bike. Okay, so here we go. So here is what President McGregor said. He said, as president, I hold the power to summon the dial as well as dissolve it. So as I said before, I would have all answers. I would have all the answers the people of Ireland seek from these thieves of the working men. Exactly. These disruptors of the family unit, these destructors of small businesses, and on and on and on. These charlatans in their positions of power would be summoned to answer to the people of Ireland, and I would have done it. And I would have it done by day end, or I would be left with no choice but to dissolve the Dáil entirely. Stop the train until the people of Ireland deserve the answers they seek, point blank. This would be my power as president. I know very well Ireland needs an active president employed wholly by the people of Ireland. It is me. I am the only logical choice. 2025 is coming. I'm fucking in. For the record, I am all in on this campaign. If Conor McGregor, you want to leverage me as any kind of mouthpiece, I'm fucking in. 1,000%. I could tell just from that post right there that we are like-minded on government corruption. I already know that I would be honored and I would be excited to work on that campaign. 1,000%. I'm fucking in. For the record, I'm in. Okay? I will help anytime, in any way that I can. Now, upon further review, what Conor is actually suggesting in this post is that he will dissolve the Irish Parliament if they don't get in line and stop stealing money. I love it, dude. That actually further cements my endorsement of his candidacy. So that's what that is. I am 100% in. Now, switching over to a more traditional topic that we would be talking about. If Conor's candidacy for president of Ireland is going to interfere with him fighting against Michael Chandler, George Masvidal has offered to jump in. And let me tell you something. That might sound stupid to you initially, okay? Because I know I can already hear everybody saying this, and it's not like you're wrong, But they'd go, well, George Masvidal was on a 4-fight losing streak when he left UFC, and then he lost a boxing match to Nate Diaz. I would say that was a pretty close fight that you could have said, like, it's a draw or whatever. Like, obviously it went either way. I had a very good time. I had a great time watching that fight, actually. But if you think that fight doesn't sell, you're crazy. Okay. Now we're going to talk about a fight not selling shortly. Okay. Because that is the Sphere show. And they made a drastic miscalculation with that particular show because Dana and them assumed that people understand what the Sphere is. They don't. That's why they're not selling. That's why the tickets are so cheap now that it's actually crazy. I cannot believe how cheap they are. I'm going to show this. You're just going to be like, I think a lot of people are going to go actually now once they see how cheap the tickets are. But nonetheless, right? You can't put on a super mediocre card and expect people to spend that kind of money because they don't understand that you're putting on like this once in a lifetime, like VR show that's going to be the size of an entire building. They don't get it. I do, but they don't, right? It's all about the card. George Masvidal, say what you want. His comeback fight in UFC against Michael Chandler in a headliner, that's going to sell, dude. Bottom line. That is going to sell, bottom line. I like it, dude. I would do it. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the Sphere, and this is wild. So you may remember that when this fight was announced in the Sphere, when the tickets went on sale, there was a pre-sale, and this was for insiders. Okay, keep this in mind that this was for insiders. This was for like the people who work at the UFC, their friends and family. It's like you guys get first crack. You get first crack at tickets to the Sphere, okay? I was given access to this thing, all right? And what I'm telling you is I saw the prices for for everybody, right? Like I got to see what these were. I'm telling you straight up that the worst seats in the entire place were over $3,000, okay? Straight up. We're talking about the base model. Like they actually said the reason why I didn't buy them when I had said to everybody, like, I am going to this show no matter what. Dana has said this is going to be the greatest show in the history of sports. I trust Dana, dude. Like he tells me that it's going to be the greatest show in the history of sports. I believe him, dude. And so I told people, you can have many people that'll put in the comments who know me personally, that I said to them, I was like, as long as I can get 2 tickets for under 8 G's, I'm going. Okay. So 2 tickets is under 8 G's if the tickets cost, $3,100 or whatever. You know what I mean? However, I didn't buy the tickets then because when I had said all that, I assumed the card was going to be, a little bit better than it ended up being. Like if you actually look at this, right? Don't look at what I'm looking at over here. Just pretend you didn't see that because it doesn't really matter why. Actually, yeah, it does. That was a video that I was doing on Play With Matches. You should definitely go check that out. Okay, so look at this. Okay, here is the full card. O'Malley versus Merab. Great fight, right? Great fight. Alexa Grasso versus Valentina. Great fight. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. Great fight, right? But after that, you do not have another major fighter on this entire card, okay? Now, I realize they're doing, the Noche thing. It's about, the history of Mexican fighting and all that. And it's a great concept, okay? However, if you want people to pay the most they've ever spent on tickets, which in most cases that will be the case. I went to UFC 300. I'm not trying to flex money on people. I'm just telling you the truth, which is that Gabrielle and I spent I'm sorry. I got confused for a second. We spent 8 G's total on 2 tickets to 300 and we had great seats. We were in the front row of the section right above the floor seats. Okay. And I consider that bucket list. You know what I mean? It's like a bucket list show to go to. Okay. Which is also kind of why I was like, all right, the Sphere, that seems like a reasonable number. Anything underneath that, we'll do it. I'm not trying to flex money. I'm just telling you this is my mindset. But then again, dude, look at the card for UFC 300. Okay. Fire. It's a fire card. Okay. When you go and you want people to spend this much money and then the card has one major fight on it, which is O'Malley versus Merab, and that's it. When you try to convince them that this is going to be the greatest show ever and people have not been to the Sphere, right? You're like, damn, dude, so here's the point that I'm making. Okay. Here's the point that I'm making. The The prices have gone down so much that you will not even believe it. Okay, so I told people a couple months ago, a month ago, whenever ADCC, when was ADCC? The 12th is when I got, okay, so the 12th, so a little over 3 weeks ago, I was in Vegas and I looked at tickets on StubHub. And they were significantly cheaper than the one when they were on Ticketmaster. Okay, I saw tickets that were as low as like $13.50 now, and I'm like, oh my god, they're less than half price. When I looked for the 3,000, like the ones that I was telling you are the bottom level ones, they were $3,100, and in the thing, it said view partially blocked. Okay, and honestly, that line is what pushed me over the edge of I'm not buying these tickets. Okay, it's like they're basically going to, because that's a ballpark what I paid for 300, because when you take fees, it's going to end up being $8,000. Okay. So, but I'm like, man, dude, view partially blocked, most expensive seats I've ever, I don't know, man. And so I didn't buy them. So when I saw that there were seats that were like less than that price, 1,300, something like that, I was like, wow, I don't understand. How are they so cheap on StubHub, which is a secondary ticket sales place, when on Ticketmaster they were 3,000? How is that even possible? So I didn't think it even made sense. I started telling people like, dude, I don't know why, but they're way cheaper on StubHub. And I know you're looking at this and you're like, I don't get it. This says 3,300. They're not cheaper. Oh, yes, they are, dude. Yes, they are. I intentionally did this because look at what the actual ticket prices are now in the sections at hand, where when we started, it was $3,000. All right, you guys ready? Watch this, okay? Because here is where they were 3,100. 831, and up here, these front row ones, look at this, 650, dude, 650. You have 3 separate options that are under $700. These were over $3,000 when they went on sale. Do you understand how much that means? This show is not selling. Okay, this show is not selling at all. And I want to make this perfectly clear. I am not saying this to shit on the UFC. I am saying this like this is an incredible opportunity for people to get a show at an absolute bargain. Because if you listen, like, does Dana ever say things like, I'm putting on the greatest show of all time? When he does he ever not deliver? Okay, he never said he was going to have the greatest card of all time. He said he's putting on the greatest show of all time. Okay, and so what that means is that's having to do with the Sphere itself. I've never been inside the Sphere. I've heard nothing but incredible things. But if you now can get into this show for under $700 per ticket, dude, this is now a steal. And I haven't bought my tickets yet, so I don't mean to kick up the price. But dude, you have places, look at it, every single section here. All the 400s, which I have heard are better than the 100s, by the way, they're all under $1,000. Every section in the 100s, except for the 106 and 104, are under, well, that's not true. There are some that are under 1,000. The 200s, okay, you got that one under, this, dude, 200, 813, dude. I'm telling you, I have heard that the second level is where it's at, and then followed closely by the third level. This is insane, dude. These are supposedly the best seats in the house, best section in the house, $1,159. Do you know how much these were when these went on sale? These were like almost $9,000, dude. These were like 75 or 8 or whatever. These were so expensive, and they are $1,200 now. Again, I am not saying this is shit on the UFC. I am telling you guys this because you're my viewers, and a lot of you guys are like, you're older and you have some money. I'm telling you this is a fucking steal. Okay? This section for this price is the deal of the century. Seriously. Okay? This right here, these are supposedly the absolute best seats in the house. Okay? The middle of the second level. And these are still less than what the cheapest tickets went on sale for originally. Okay, so like if I title this like the Sphere show is falling apart or whatever, okay, like that's like a hyperbolic way to present this information. But what I'm telling you as fans of the UFC, this is the opportunity of a lifetime if you can afford it. Okay, so anyway, that's what I've got.